Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast, and thank you for joining me on another solo episode where I want to chat with you about making the plan. And I'm bringing it up because I see it in my life. I've seen the benefits of making a plan. I've seen the destruction that it's brought into my life and the lack of success when I'm not making a plan. And I know that so many of you sometimes feel stuck and that you don't know what is the next step that you need to take to be able to pursue your dreams and your passions. And I want to tell you that making a plan is one of those things that is crucial, important, and will be a game changer for you. I believe and I buy into the idea that your success, your dreams, your passion, your growth is found in your daily agenda. It's found in what you do daily, but not only that, but in what you plan to do tomorrow, what you plan to do next week, next month, and next year, even. And making a plan is one of those ways that you can not only guarantee that you'll follow a system or that you will actually pursue or you have a goal to pursue and be able to accomplish some great things. Now, um, I know there's probably some of you going here and going, well, Walter, like that's not really my thing, or I don't do that. That's for some people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want you to stop for a moment and realize that you need to be on purpose. And when you're planning and when you're setting goals and when you want to get something accomplished, it has to be done intentional. And if you're going to be intentional about it, you got to write it down. You got to put it on paper. You got to plan it out. You got to figure it out how you're going to accomplish these goals. And it's not simply your dream is not going to take you from A to B and then you've arrived. Sometimes it's actually A to Z and there's a lot of B, C, D, E, F, and so on points along the way that you need to figure out so you can not only stay consistent, but accomplish those goals. And it's incredible what you're going to learn. I mean, think about it this way. If you're going to go on a road trip, if you've ever gone on a road trip, typically you're going to go get a map and you're going to plan out your trip. You're going to plan out your stops. You're going to plan out your meals. You may even plan out where you're going to stay, what you want to see. And there's something to be said about being spontaneous and going out and kind of whatever, but you still have an idea of where you're heading. You might have some random decisions made along the way, but you still know your starting point and you still have your end game in mind. And so it's very important that if you're going to plan to go on a road trip, that you know where you're heading. Think about it. Maybe if you're going on a trip and you're going to hop on a plane, one of the first things that you get after you book your flight is you get an email that tells you where your layovers are going to be, or if it's going to be a direct flight and what airport you're going to land and where you're heading. You end up figuring that kind of stuff out ahead of time because when you do that, it brings clarity. And as leaders, one of the biggest attributes that I'm a fan of is that leaders need to understand clarity and they need to seek clarity and roadmaps, game plans, budgets. Oops, did I trigger somebody out there? Because some of you may not like budgeting, but guess what? If you want to have some financial success, you need to budget. I put budgeting in the same arena, in the same group of roadmaps, game plans, and planning in general, because they help us have clarity on, first of all, our current reality. We end up understanding our current reality and what we can and can't do, and then it allows us to pivot, adjust, and plan what the next steps that we need to take. And so I want you to do whatever it takes to make planning your friend. Planning doesn't have to be your enemy. Planning is a team player on your team that is going to make you successful. And if you don't believe me, truly look back on the times that you haven't planned and how you've been a procrastinator, or you've kind of just gone off the road and done something different, and things haven't worked out the way you wanted it because you didn't have some sort of guidance. You didn't have some sort of boundaries that came along the way and told you, hey, remember, this is the dream. This is the idea that you had. This is the plan. And I'm not at all saying that plans can't change, but plans and roadmaps give us the general and the initial idea to get going and get started. And I would even say to get us pointed in the right direction. Some of us are wanting to start a business, but we're not even putting in the work and the effort that a business owner should be doing to start. Some of us want to be better leaders, but are not even prioritizing investing in ourselves on what it would look like to personally grow. Some of us want so many different things, but we don't have a game plan on how we're going to get there. And so if you don't have that plan, I don't know if you're ever going to get it. And you're going to fool yourselves because you think that because you're thinking about it or because you talked about it, that that's a plan. No, you need to write it out. And I'm a big advocate of writing it out because then you can see it. Then you can change it. You can actually visualize it and go, okay, I don't care if you scribble, if you make lines or squares or circles or triangles, it allows you to be able to visually look at this and go, okay, this is my roadmap. This is the roadmap that I'm going to use and that I'm willing to hold loosely because things will change. I'm not perfect. People are going to be involved. Things happen. Life happens. And so along the way, we're going to pivot and we're going to tweak and we're going to adjust. But I'm going to have a generalized idea and knowing where I'm heading. And I would even propose to you, because of the work that I've done on boards of directors and business and all that I would propose to you that you do a 3-year plan. And some of you might be like overwhelmed by that thought because you're like, I don't even know what I want to do next week. I get it. I would encourage you to work up to that, especially if you work in a business, especially if you work on a team and in an organization. You need to have some vision. You need to have some idea down the line where you want to head, so you can later use that as a way of checking in if you're actually doing it. And so make a game plan. I don't like whatever that looks like. Commit to it and just make a decision that you're going to revisit it. In fact, I would even encourage you. I mean, I just finished saying to do a 3-year plan, but maybe on a smaller scale, do a 3-month plan, and every 3 months, check it. Maybe check it quarterly or halfway through the year. I've talked about this before, how I do a lot of reflection, but I also do planning for my year, and then I do retreats. You heard me talk about that on this podcast before, and the benefits of that. So I'm kind of maybe telling you the same thing I've told you before, but I'm telling you it from a different perspective and a different idea. So maybe it'll stick, and maybe you'll grasp something here that you can use and start figuring out reasons to win instead of excuses on why you're not accomplishing what you want. And planning is a great way to do that. In fact, maybe a fun strategy to show you is that we end up taking a road either way. If whether we plan it on purpose or not, you are choosing to do something and you're choosing to go on a road. An interesting task to do is to maybe look back at the last 5 years, maybe the last 10 years, and look where your decisions have brought you, the choices that you've made along the way, whether they were on purpose or not. Think about the people that you've met and the things that have happened. And we can pinpoint that at the end of the day, what has happened, and we can be thankful. We've met certain people, but imagine if you would have lived your life more on purpose. Imagine if you would have lived your life with a plan. And like I said, it's an opportunity to hold it loosely because things do change. But I need to encourage you to have at least an overall idea of where you want to go. So then you can celebrate the wins. You can find the mile markers of what has happened, and in fact some of you are going to desire in the future to mentor and coach people, and then you can understand the winning techniques and the winning mindset, or the success plan that helped you get where you are. And it's not going to be perfect, but you're going to be able to learn from your mistakes. You're going to be able to see your wins and learn from your wins. You're going to understand how you work with other people. You're going to understand your personality, your strengths and weaknesses better. And those are opportunities for us to continue to grow. And I'm a huge advocate of encouraging you to grow, because we're human beings, and we are on a growth journey. And so making plans are part of that. And it allows you to feel a little bit more free, and not having to have your mind always working and being like, I need to always figure out the next move. I always have to be attentive and be tweaking so much, because you're scattered brain. But when you have a plan, it allows you to rest, and it allows you to commit and say, you know what? No, we have a plan. I'm not going to be distracted. It allows you to say no to things that are not supposed to be in your life in this season. It allows you to say yes to the right things, and it allows you to feel like you're on purpose. You can feel confident. You can have courage moving forward and going, no, I've been in this. I've taken the time. I've taken the time to figure it out, and this process can take you a little bit of time. It's okay to invest time into this. It doesn't have to be done overnight. It can be done over days or even weeks, but be on purpose for it and be intentional, so you can create a plan that looks sustainable, that actually looks like it could work in your strengths, and that your team is on board. And whoever needs to be part of this understands the clarity behind that. And then you guys can go, okay, here's the plan. Let's get moving. So, have you made a plan? Can you make a plan? You definitely can. I believe you can. And I am speaking to myself in this too, because like I said earlier on, I've done this where I've succeeded and I've failed at it. And I feel like I'm in a season in my life where I need to be more proactive on this. And as I'm sharing it with you, I need to get on the ball and make sure that I'm being very particular and on purpose and focused in what I'm doing, so then I can see the wins as well. And honestly, guys, like, making a plan works for everything. It works in all areas of your life. So I don't want you to sit there, stand there, drive there, and be listening to me and going, well, this is not for me. This is only for the business leaders, or for leaders in organizations, or people on teams, or that kind of stuff. This episode is for everyone. And I think that if you pause for a moment, you might find that there's areas in your life that need different types of planning. For example, maybe you need to do meal planning in your household, and that needs to be figured out on how you do that, so then you eat healthy. When you have a plan, it's incredible how things align and how things get done well. Maybe you have kids, and you need to plan scheduling when it comes to drop off and pick up at school, and sports and extra activities that are going on. If you want to do it well, you got to plan it. And so let's talk about money. I said budget. Like, if you want to not only save, invest, stay, or get out of debt, you got to make that decision. And you do that by planning it and by writing it out and deciding what you're going to spend money on and what you're not going to spend money on. If you're going to build a team, you have to be intentional and make plans on understanding who your team players are, what kind of help they need. You need to plan out the resources. You need to plan out the way you're going to execute it. Sales plans, whatever it is, you need to create plans, and you can have plans that are different for every aspect of your life. And the idea behind this is that It's meant to support you, help you, and propel you, not hinder you. And so if you've never fully tried it, I would really invite you to try it and realize that this is for all types of personalities, regardless of your strengths or weaknesses, the kind of person you are, this will help you. And so when you start making these plans and you start putting it into action, I strongly believe that it'll bring peace. It'll bring rest into your life, and in fact, it'll probably free your mind to be able to think about other things, and it'll give you permission to not worry about certain things and to focus on other things. And so, there is so much we can unpack in this, but I wanted to give you the perspective of planning, and for you to just kind of consider that first and think about that this could be an important player on your team. And the other thing I'll add, like if you want to grow as a person, grow as a leader, you want to become a person that is fun to be around, you want to be kind, you want to be able to add value to people. Well, how are you going to do that if you don't have a plan? If you don't have a plan, you'll find out that we have this tendency of maybe being lazy. We have this tendency of not wanting to do it. Then we let our emotions kick in. We start making emotional decisions instead of character decisions. We start making decisions based off of this concept or idea that we have time tomorrow. But what if we can make a plan and we can hold ourselves accountable, and then maybe we can share that plan with other people so they can be invited into our lives and they can hold us accountable, and we do community together, and we start dreaming together. Man, it's incredible what we can get done and what we would be able to do. And so I want to encourage you to go make a plan, go grab a notebook, and maybe the initial step is to start writing a list of things that you need to plan for. Maybe you don't have a budget. Write down that you need to create a budget. Maybe you don't have a schedule. Maybe you don't do things by an agenda or a day planner. Maybe you need to use your phone. I'm not here to telling you how to do it, but I want you to think on why you should do it. Figure out what works for you, but do it, and don't eliminate it out of your life because you don't you can't find the right tool. Try something, and if it doesn't work, try something new. Simply go to the dollar store, buy a notebook, and just write in a clean page notes down on what you want to work on, and then start formulating what the guidance that you need and the planning that you need to make. And if you need to invite some help, then you can do that. But I want to encourage you that if you do this, I don't believe you're going to regret it, because being organized and being clear and having clarity in what you want to do will only help you more. And if you want to do it well, this is one of the ways that you're going to be able to live your life, lead your life well, live your life well, do things well. And that's by inviting different tools and resources into our lives that help us out. And so this whole idea, it all matters. The details matter. And I think planning will help you grab the chaos in our lives and bring it into an area, in a situation, into a box that we can now sort out and create a calmness in our lives and be able to win at it. And so go and find those things, those areas in your life that you need to be better at and plan better, and make that one habit. Make that one habit of creating plans in your life so you can actually have success in the future. Plan today so you can win tomorrow. And so I hope this speaks to you. If you have thoughts, if you have questions about it, shoot me a message. But if you think there's somebody that needs to hear this initial thought about planning, send it to them. Comment on this and let me know what you think. Because the idea here is, when we become great planners, like I always say, it'll help you dream big, it'll help you grow always, and of course, it'll help you lead well. So that's it for now. I'll catch you on the next episode. Go do big things. Talk to you soon.